Shay family. This is Armand Rose. Always trying to bring you the truth, man. So let's dive right into this one, man. So I've been seeing a lot of videos about we are the American Indian. You know, black people are the American Indian. We're not African, we're Indian. So I'm going to prove to you guys that we are Africans. I'm going to prove to you that we are Africans and not Indians. Okay? So when you I'm gonna just give you a little bit of information, a little backdrop. When you find artifacts, I've always told you guys about the artifacts that was found in the Grand Canyon, over 15,000 years old, and those are hieroglyphics and also the statues of, Egyptian queens and kings. Over 15,000 years old. So I don't want you guys to get caught up into the years and timelines and stuff like that, because all that shit is a lie. Okay? Africa is hundreds of thousands of years old, millions of years old, and the timeline is wrong. Okay? The timeline is way off. It's way off. Don't get it twisted. So, with that being said, some of the artifacts that we can find, if you talk to the American Indian, okay, the American Indian technically is only 240 years old. How old is America? Somebody please stop this. Get your pencil and paper out and write this stuff down, because I don't want you to think I'm lying. I want you to research every fucking thing that I'm saying right now. How old is America? I'll do it for you. I'll do it right here live for you guys. How old is America? 244 years old. So the Native American Indian can only go back 244 years, because America is only 244 years old. I just told you the artifacts of African people been here for 15,000 years, over 15,000 years. So that succeeds what we're talking about. That goes past. So now we're getting into the Aboriginal people that was here in this land. So it wasn't the so-called Native American Indian. So, Edwin, how can you show proof of what this land used to be? Okay. What was the first treaty that America signed? So the Americans signed their first peace treaty in 1777. The Sultan of Morocco included the United States. Now the deal was they gave them some land so they can set up shop and use it as, set up, their colonies. They signed it in 1786. Okay. Now, this is the first peace treaty that the British colony signed to use this land. Who owned this land? Moroccan Sultan. So where's Morocco? What is Morocco? Morocco is an African country, part of the African continent. So this land was fucking African. You don't get it? Now can you connect the dots? That's why you're finding all this African culture here. That's why you see all this African history here, because this land was fucking African. I'm not even gonna go. Okay, and then let's break something else down. When did they start using the term Indian? Okay, in 1924 they started giving Indian citizenship, and then the term and the the term itself gained popularity around, I want to say, the 60s, 1968, the Civil Act. That's when the term, the Indian Civil Rights Act, that's when they got their bills and their rights and they started getting land and shit like that. That's when it really started taking off that they were Indians because they was giving them land. So if you give somebody some money, they're going to run with the shit. And that's what they did. But now they're trying to claim that this land was their land, or they are the native people of this land. They're not the native people of this land. And, you know, I saw a lot of videos today explaining words, you know, giving definitions of words. How many times have I given you guys the definition of native? It says a member of an Aboriginal people. It's not the Aboriginal people of the land. Look it up yourself. We are African people. We are the descendants of the original African people. Have we been intermingled? Have we been whipped and mudded up and messed up and and colonized and raped and our bloodline distorted? Yes, all of that. But we come from Africans. This land is African. This air you breathe is African. Every time they dig and find something, it's African. The Grand Canyon artifacts, over 15,000 years old, African. This raggedy ass country is 244 years old. It doesn't supersede your African ancestry. How can 244 years outlast or outshadow or overcast 15,000 years? How can it? How can you claiming to not be African when this land was given to you from an African country? The first peace treaty. Hey man, you can use this land. You can use this land to conduct your business. Man, you have permission to do business as a foreign entity on this land. And I told you guys, why did these Moors don't say, hey man, hey Morocco, hey man, these guys have violated their peace treaty, come over here and get them. Because they're making too much money off of our black asses. But anyway, we'll talk about that at a later date. But I'm tired of you guys trying to claim something that you're not. You're African. Fucking be proud. You're not savages. You're not ignorant. You have the capability to do things. You're doing a little research, but you're not connecting the dots. Prove me wrong. Show me that I'm incorrect. Show me that the first peace treaty to use this land was not from an African country, making this land African. Show me the oldest artifact on this land is not African, from African descent. Connect the dots. Hotel.